I have a book in me.
This is my friend, my brother.
Thank you, Kelly and Oliver.
I'm a multi-award winning best-selling author.
If you want to start a new business, I suggest you write the book on it.
God woke me up at 2:30 in the morning and I wrote a book.
Some of you got books already. Some of you got novels already.
The lead generator is the book.
You write a book, you leave a legacy to your children.
And I hope you guys listen to these guys so they know what they're talking about.
What's up, everybody? I'm the publisher, Mr. Kelly Cole.
And I'm the writing coach, Dr. Oliver T. Reid, the relationship architect.
All right, welcome to Books-N-Brothas podcast. And today we have a special guest this evening. My big brother, Pastor Rodney Johnson. What's up, bro?
Wait a minute, man. Hold up, man. I got more to my title. If he Dr. Oliver Reid, the publisher, I'm the comedian, Pastor. I make more money as a comedian. I'm comedian first, pastor second. Pastor after I call it. But right now, until they switch, comedian pastor. Rodney Johnson used to be a deacon, never was a trustee.
There you go. Well, good stuff. Hey, bro, thank you for joining us tonight.
I appreciate it, man. Thank y'all for having me.
Cool, man. So, yeah, man, we just gonna kick it. We just have conversation. Me and my bro, we usually on here just joking and talking about different book ideas. But tonight, since we got you, we're gonna talk about your book, your life lessons, and everything. So you wrote a book called 50 Posts and a Piece of Toast.
Correct.
Tell the people about that. Tell the people a little bit about who you are first.
Well, you know, I've been a comedian for over 30 years and started pastoring the church a little under 2 years ago. And it's been a very rewarding shift from making people laugh to really impacting their lives with some, you know, light altering information, because the Bible can give you the answers to the very thing that you seek and are looking for. So, but after 30 years of doing comedy, I started a church here in Villa Rica, Georgia. And the book just came about because I just believe that if the Lord allows you to get to 50, you have a story to tell. You should share something. So one morning I decided that 50 days before 50, I would write a post about something that impacted my life or changed my life, or I thought was valuable to pass on to someone else. And that's how the book came about. So from comedy to leading people and making people laugh, it's just been part of the journey.
No, I don't think I ever told you this, but as you were writing those posts, I was copying the whole thing. Like I have a document. So whether you made it a book or not, I was going to keep them.
I know. You know what's funny, man, is that a couple other people, including my sister, she kept the post. But what's funny is sometimes, and you know, you and I, when we talk, I have people that actually record our conversations because they know that in the conversation, we exchange so much wisdom and information. But you know me, once I say it, I can't repeat it because it's in that moment, you know.
It's gone. Like once you say it, it's gone. Kind of. What you got, Ty? You was gonna say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing, man. Just watching his brother, brother Rodney, and just the wisdom he dropped in a funny way, but in a serious way. It's been in his presence. It's been dope because he'll say something that's so funny, but then you get home and be like, that makes a whole lot of sense, and I can apply it to my life.
Yeah, and it's also made a whole lot of people mad.
I bet.
I'm sure. So what's been your feedback? What's been your feedback? What's made people mad about the book?
Well, the book has really been a blessing, and it's a simple read. It's a simple read, but I believe that sometimes truth causes conversation. Like one of the things that I know that I've had the most conversation about, the post about, is hyphenated names. You know, and I've told women all the time that if you go into a marriage with a hyphenated name, your marriage is divided from day one. Well, they want to refute that. Why? Because they want to carry that name. But carrying your father or your grandfather or your mother, whoever helped you get to whatever status you have in life, hey man, that's not what God said when the two come together. So when you marry him, your name only lives on if you have sons. You had a son, your name lives on. You have a daughter, sorry, but that's it. So that has caused people to question. A couple other posts that people have questioned or just had some kind of like, I don't truly agree with that, has been Mount Everest, which is one of my to me is the most powerful posts. When I talk about when you live your life and you have goals and you reach them, you get to this Mount Everest experience. Well, what do you do when you get to the top of Mount Everest? You stop, you look around, you plant your flag, you take your picture, meaning I've arrived, and then you go back down telling other people how to get to their Mount Everest experience.
Right.
And what people don't know is on that journey to Mount Everest, people who have died to get to the same pinnacle that you had, their bodies are still there because they can't bring them down.
Right.
Because of the altitude. So that means that as you are ascending, there will be casualties along the way.
Yeah.
And sometimes people disagree. They go, I don't believe that. I believe you can take everybody with you. I said, okay, well, you let me know when you get everybody there.
Really? Yeah. So we had, funny thing, we had a conversation like that when I brought 4 young men to your house. And tell them a little bit about that story. It's funny when you tell it.
Well, Kelly, you know me. Telling the story has to be in the moment of when it pops into my head because it's so much. I would tell you this. You can probably start the story and then I can go, oh yeah. So what is your recollection? And then let me co-sign on it.
So I called my big bro. I said, hey, you've been in the entertainment industry for over 25 years. I got these 4 young men, including my son, and we're getting ready to do this tour, and I'm going to mentor these guys, and we're going to do music. And I said, can we come to your house so you can give them some wisdom?
Right.
We walked in, of course. First thing that happened is Aaron sat in the big chair. He was like, oh, I know who the star is. He said,
yeah. Okay, let me pick it up from there. All right, so he brings, hey Doc, he brings these 4 young, impressionable minds, and and one thing about entertainment or business, you don't have to be a world-renowned entertainer or the top of the business. The roads are all the same in business and in entertainment. We all travel these same roads to success. We just do. Right. So he brings it to me, and I have a lot of wisdom and years of entertainment. So he brings these 4 impressionable minds, and I put them in the basement. Immediately, Aaron sits in the big chair. Everybody else picks other chairs, and I think one of the kids kind of stood, or he sat kind of on the end. And as I was engaging them in conversation, Aaron never lost concentration with what I was saying. Everybody else was kind of listening, and then they would either respond or react, or they would shrug, or they would breathe. And so anyway, this went on for maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. When it was all said and done, Kelly said to me, he said, hey man, what do you think? And I said something to the effect, if all else fails, Aaron is the star.
No, what happened the next day on the way home, you called me, you said, hey, can anybody hear me? And I said, no, you're in my ears. He was like, bro, he said, man, it's amazing what you're trying to do, mentor those young boys. He was like, but Aaron's the star. The rest of them going to fall off.
That's it. That's it, man. That's it. That was it. And it was only because of and Doc, you know this, based upon characteristics, people, the way people walk, you monitor the words that come out of their mouth, then you know what's up. You can tell. Look, you don't have to be a rocket science figure some of this stuff. All you got to do is pay attention.
For sure.
Yes.
For sure.
And I knew Aaron, look, I told Kelly, if all else failed, hey, Aaron is the one. You put your money on that one. But see, that's because he was that way as a kid, man. Right. So this is just a natural progression for him. At 21, he already got 15 years.
Yeah.
15 years in.
For sure. Yeah. It's funny how, and Rodney, the last time we talked about it, you didn't even remember. You remember how we met, but you didn't remember all of the things that happened in between and all of that stuff. I literally borrowed like $6,000 to put your event on, to book the Hilarious Religious Comedy Tour. Bro, I tell you the story?
Huh?
Ty, I ever tell you the story?
No, I don't remember it.
So I
remember you talking a little bit about it, but I don't remember it.
I borrowed $6,000, didn't know what I was doing. And this is when I knew I was going to like Rodney. He called me the week of the show, and he said, bro, how we looking? How many tickets we sold? And I said, I got faith, bro. And he said, I got faith too. How many tickets we sold? I think I had sold like 3 tickets at the time. He was like, all right. He said, it's still going on. I said, yeah.
Hey, what I remember was you called me about it, and anytime somebody called me, I was always honest, and I would tell them, I said, listen, I have seen this show sell 2 tickets. I have seen this show sell out. I do not take responsibility for promotion. All I can tell you is that when we come, we will give you a quality show, a product that people will be like, hey, man, that was nice. That's all I can guarantee. I know that. You put them in there, you set them up, we're going to knock them down.
That's it.
And when he got there, I felt so bad for him. I had to take the money because we were there, and it was the contract. But I told him, I said, hey, man, if in the future anything I can do for you, let me know, man. I'll come through because, I don't like nobody taking the L for nothing. And, but again, it is part of the business.
It is, man. It was the growing pains, but it was the best investment because, like you said, we developed the relationship after that, and we've been able to, I've been able to reap far more than what I lost. But I remember when you walked in and I came downstairs and you guys came, and he was like, hey, man, you got our money? Because Ty, it was probably 20 people in a 900-seater.
Wow.
So, but I was always the type of guy, if I'm going to put on an event, I wasn't banking on ticket sales. I always made sure I had the entertainers' money. Now, I lost a lot of money myself, but I always made sure I had their money. And that has made all of my relationships good. So, but cool. All right, big bro. So one of my favorite chapters in the book is No Excuses.
Yes, sir.
And so talk about that. So no excuses. What is your thought process or your philosophy on no excuses? Because I live by that as well.
Man, there's no excuses. Men don't make excuses. Now, I said, this is what I was talking about, how sometimes people get mad because I say certain things. Yeah. I made the statement, only people who are allowed to make excuses are women and children. Men don't make excuses.
Yeah.
They take our last name, we cover and protect them, we lead them. We can't make no excuses. They can make an excuse. They can say, well, and we make the adjustments predicated on the excuse. So I just always had a no excuse mentality. If it comes out of your mouth, it's locked in the other person's mind. And if you don't if it doesn't come to pass, that leads to disappointment. Nobody likes to be disappointed.
Yeah.
So therefore, when I'm given an assignment, I'm going to evaluate whether or not I can deliver. If I can deliver, I'm going to take it. There's no excuse. Like you told me last week, we're going to do this on Wednesday at 8 o'clock. I immediately go to my date book and I put it down. I immediately put in a reminder the day before to make sure we're still doing it. There's no excuse. So if y'all don't show up, I'm going to be here.
Right. Yeah.
And then so I believe if we all take that whole attitude, there's no excuses. I mean, you understood in good English.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, let me go back. Let me give you the story of a guy that went to a friend of mine who lost a job because he was late to work. But I didn't know he was late to work. So he had some financial situation. So I gave him some money because I don't believe in loaning. Because when you loan people money, you kill the friendship. So you might as well just give it to him and keep it moving. So I gave him some money. So then we talked about, what happened with the job. He told me he was late. And all of a sudden, I immediately got mad. I was like, wait a minute. I helped you because you was late? You got fired for being late? Oh, bro, give me my money back. Give me my money back. No, I can't help you for being late. When you left the job at 5 o'clock the day before, you knew you had to be back at 8 o'clock. But then he said it was my car. So I said, hey, man, you got a raggedy car. When you have a raggedy car, you can't get up at good car time. You got to get up at raggedy car time. Yeah. Meaning 5 o'clock, I got to be there at 8 just in case raggedy car break down. I can get to work on time. When you got a good car, you can get up at 6:30 and leave the house at 7:15 and be there at 8. But raggedy, you understand what I'm saying? So don't give me no excuse. You knew you had raggedy car. You should have got up at raggedy car time.
What's raggedy car time? I need to find out what that is.
Well, it depends on how raggedy your car is. Now, I have a 2014 Jeep Grand Cherokee. It's supposed to start up, but I used to have a 1994 Lexus. Now, that's car's 25 years old. It might not start up one day because it's 25 years old. Right. In other words, I could dunk up to 35. I can't dunk at 55. So at some point, you get old. And then when you get old, you got to have raggedy car time. That's all.
I love it.
So why don't you think most people think that way? Why do you think most people don't think most men that don't think it's unacceptable to make excuses, and why aren't most people on time? Why don't they care about being on time?
Well, here's another reason why I got fussed at. Because a lot of our men today are raised, I feel like preaching now, by women. There's something about when a man raises you that you become responsible But when your mother raises you, she make allocations and allotments for you because your father is not there. That's why. Now, I'll put that out there and see how many bad comments you get after they hear that line. Oh, my mama raised me to be strong. Your mama can raise you, but I'm telling you something about when you have a father that makes a difference in your life. Matter of fact, if you don't believe me, let's go back to Good Times. When did Good Times become a bad show? When James got off. When they kicked James off. Whatever. There you go. See, only a man can recognize that and understand that. There you go. You passed the test, bro.
Is it? That's true. That's a true statement.
And what do they do? What do they do when they take the man out of the family? Think about this. Watch the dynamics of that show. Whenever you take the man out of the family, the enemy already knows that the family will suffer. It will try to give you every substitute for him by taking him out. So think about it. They took James Evans off the show.
Yeah.
They tried to bring in, they tried to make Florida the head. Remember then was it her brother that came in, the older guy that came in, maybe, I can't remember who he was, but that older man that came to town to try to help out. And then they brought in Thelma's boyfriend to be the man. Remember Keith was supposed to help him. He was supposed to be the football player. You see what I'm saying? Then finally JJ got to an age where he was supposed to be the man. But the show never regained balance because they took the man, the whole center, the whole core out of the show. And people don't know that. They don't look at it that way. Why was the Jeffersons good? Because George Jefferson was the man, and he set standards. Why was All in the Family good? Because Archie Bunker was the man. He set standards. He set boundaries. Think about it.
Wow. Dope. That's so true.
Yeah. That's why we love those shows, man. We love those shows.
Good stuff. You have another famous quote I like. When the men stand up, the women can sit down. Break down.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What does that
Absolutely. Huh?
What does that mean?
That means to stand up. That does not mean that the woman is dismissed or not heard. It means that the provision is not on her shoulders. She don't have to do the heavy lifting. We supposed to do the heavy lifting. The Bible says, and Doc, you can back me up because you know this word too. The Bible says that she is my helpmeet, my helper. I'm the pilot. I'm chief. She my co-pilot. She has just as much as importance as I do. She can fly the plane just like I can. But the problem why the family is suffering, if I'm the chief surgeon and she's my assistant surgeon, I'm in the operating room, I say I need a scalpel, and she handed me a knife. And I'm saying, no, I said scalpel. Then she said, well, I think you should use this knife. And that's why the family crashes, because she don't want to follow the instructions of what I need for us to be successful. She wants to do it her way. You know, I told my ex-wife, I said, here's the problem with you and I. I'm the star quarterback, and all I need is a head cheerleader. You want to be a quarterback on the field. So I told the kids to go down and out, and I told you to tell them, hey, tell the kids to go down and out. You gave them a play and told them to go down and in. So I said, when the kids didn't go down and out, I said, well, how come they didn't go down and out? Well, I thought down and out was too far. I just wanted them to go down and in. See, that's why the family has turmoil, and that's why the man is not respected. And the very woman that will leave the man who's trying to lead the family will take that same information that he is trying to live by and instill it in her son, but then kill the dude who she's trying to get her son to be like. Why?
Bro, makes sense, bro.
Yeah. That's what happens, man. When you are a man who stands for the principles that you got my last name, I am here for you, I got you, whatever you desire, please bring it to me, let's discuss it. I will make sure that in time we can do whatever it is that your heart's desire. You then say, that's not fast enough, I want to do it. Then you try to get in front of the man. Then when you bust your head to the white meat, then you're looking at him to pick you up. Then he mad because he got to pick up something that he saw that was going to cause problems, but you was too, this is crazy. Crazy. And all we got to do is sit down and discuss it and allow me to do my job, and that allows you to relish in yours. So if I stand up, man, you can take a seat. Not saying that you got to disappear, go away. It's just saying that you can rest. Because I guarantee you talk to any single independent woman that's trying to take care of her 2 kids, she'll tell you right then that. Matter of fact, if you look at that Tyler Perry movie called Acrimony, all Taraji P. Henson kept on saying, I'm glad that you want this invention. I just need some help. I just want to take a break.
Right.
Can you just help me do that?
Right.
You look at it, women will tell you that. I can handle all of this, but there's a time that I just want to break. Why do you want to break? Because God never said it for you to be the head of the household. It's never how He's ordained it. That's why I know. That's why every woman has cried about a job, and a man has never cried on a job, and every man has gotten frustrated being home trying to take care of them kids because he know he's supposed to be out there plowing that field. Now home homeschooling, cooking lunch, making beds.
That's real. You know what I mean? That is real, man. That is real.
So speaking of that movie, Acrimony, I had an interesting conversation with two females about that movie, and they say that the man still wasn't fair at the end when he came back. Was he fair, bro? Talk to me.
Was he fair? Bro, was he fair? Was he? Listen, let me tell you where, look. Bro.
Was he fair? I want to know.
Bro, he was fair. He was fair. The problem was she allowed that lifestyle to go on. It went on too long. It was 17 years. Anybody could give up hope in 17 years.
Right.
She was carrying the load for almost 2 decades, waiting on an invention to come. And he act like he could not do anything.
Right.
But that's because even in college, she crippled him in college. She crippled him from college. She created the chaos that she lived in. Now, I believe that even though the marriage failed because of her fire-starting, fire-planting sisters, at the end of the day, the brother came back right.
Yeah.
He paid her. He bought her back the house that he lost. Bro, come on. And gave her money.
10 million.
Hey, come on, bro. No, that brother did right.
Yeah. So I was talking to 2 young ladies who happened to be my sister and my stepmom, and they said she should have got more, and he was wrong.
Bruh, you look, first of all, you got to realize his invention did not happen after they split. It was a few years. Remember they showed you he worked in the kitchen and they just bumped into the woman again and boom, 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 bam. You know, but what really made Taraji P. Henson so mad is everything that he said came to pass, but it was with the chick that he cheated on 25 years earlier.
Right.
That's what pissed her off. He had some old scars.
Old scars.
All right. Another one of my favorite chapters is keeping receipts. You said your grandfather is the one taught you about keeping a receipt.
Absolutely, man. I remember I was a kid and my grandfather lived in an apartment complex because he said he would never buy a house so that my grandmother would never leave him if she left, if she wasn't going to get nothing. So he lived in an apartment his whole life.
Wow.
He told me, he said, boy, this is how he used to talk. He said, boy, you give them something, they'll take it and leave you. Give them nothing, they'll sit right there waiting on you to give them something. That's what he said.
That's wrong.
That's what he said. He said, boy, the more you give them. Matter of fact, this preacher gave me this line. He said, a woman will spend her life trying to turn her man into a punk and then leave him the day he becomes one. Bruh, that thing flowed with me.
Wow. That's true.
But my grandfather, one day we were on our way to see him, and he was walking back to his apartment. He was mad. And I said, Pop, what's wrong? He said, old man, don't tell me. I ain't paying no rent. He said, I ain't paying no rent. He said, James Wolf, because he always talked about himself in the third person. He said, James Wolf, pay your bill now. Pay your bill. Now, I might be crazy, but I'm going to pay my bill. I'm going to go in there and get my receipt. And he looked at me. He said, boy, I'm going to tell you something. There's only 3 things a man need to know in life. 3 things. I said, what's that, Pop? He said, count your money, keep a receipt, and always make sure you got a good woman. And if you got a good woman, she take care of the rest of the stuff. Your mama take care of all that stuff. All I do is go to work. That's what he told me, man. I was a kid. I never forget it, man. That joker said, count your own money. Kelly, Kelly, didn't I tell you that?
Yeah, for sure.
I think I told you that because I told a lot of my friends who I knew they were on their way to being very successful. I said, hey, man, I can't tell you what to do with all that money you're going to make. I'll tell you this. Don't let nobody have power of attorney over your money. Count your money, and you'll never be one of those dudes on television. Because every time you see them dudes on television, they let somebody else count their money.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So that's where it came from. My grandfather said, keep your receipt. And one of the powerful examples of keeping my receipt is I did a men's conference now some years ago. But I remember the story about my son. He was 18. He came to visit me, and he was upset with me. And he had an attitude for like a whole year. Like, I'll call him. He'd be real short. So he came to visit when he turned 18. And I said, man, what's wrong with you, man? He said, well, you know, my mother said you ain't pay child support. I'm like, your mother said that? Yeah. And he had like one of them, I want to fight. I'm thinking, like, how you gonna come visit me and then you want to stand here and fight? So what he didn't know is I had all the receipts. So while he was upstairs, I went downstairs to my file cabinet and I got all the receipts out, Kelly, all of them. 15 years, because I was married to his mother for the first 3 years of his life. And I put him in by the year, like 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, all the way up until when he was standing there. And so I called him downstairs. I said, look at that and tell me what you see. And he looked down there and he said, oh, okay, all right, I see you paid. I said, no, son, look down there and tell me what you see. He said, well, Dad, I see you paid. Okay, you prove your point. I said, no, son, you've been mad for about a year or two. I need you to stand down here and look at these receipts on that floor and tell me what else you see. And he was down there for like 4 hours, man. 4 hours. And finally, I was married to my second wife. She said, how long are you going to let him stay down there? I said, until he figure out what I'm talking about. And so after 4 hours, I went downstairs. He was sitting up against the wall. I said, what did you see? He said, I saw that you paid. I don't know what else to tell you. I said, no, son, look at this. See right here, on this side right here, these are when I first became a comedian. I was on the road. See, these are money orders. Look at what state these money orders are coming from. And see, here we didn't have interstate banking like we do today. So this is when I used to send my check back to Baltimore. My dad would put it in his account for me, and then he would write the check. And in the memo, it say child support for Rodney Johnson. And there's your grandfather's signature right over there, but it was for me. And look how many years he did that. And then this is when I got married and I moved to California and I had my own bank. And then I sent the checks every month. Now, sometimes I was late, but look at the amounts. See, sometimes I had to double up and triple up, but I never missed a month. Even if I missed a month, I would double up the next month. And then look right here, son. See right here? See where the amount went up? And then I was paying more money? That's because I was making more money. So I was giving your mother more money, but I was late. So one day your mother called me and cussed me out and said, I don't care about the extra money. I need you to pay on time. So look at the next one. I went back to the original 135 that I was ordered to pay back in 1987. But then look, here's a whole bunch of checks with your name on it. So I was sending you the difference since she was not smart enough to understand that, yeah, I'm late, but you know, it is what it is, but I'm sending you the money. But look on the back, son, her signature's on the back of your check. That's why you didn't know. Son, don't ever accuse a man of anything until you have a conversation with him. And now you're free to get up from the floor and enjoy the visit with your dad. And we ain't had no more problems ever since, man.
Good stuff.
I had all the receipts, 15 years of them.
Wow.
How you do it. I don't see how you do it. Go ahead, bro. You got something real quick?
No, I'm just saying those receipts, man. That's deep. You know, I take that as a lesson to keep your receipts, but also be mindful of accountability. Because that's what I got out of that was just accountability. You could have skipped months, you could do whatever. But like you said in the beginning of the podcast, Rodney, you was talking about how there is no excuses.
None.
And I'm learning that more and more, man. There's no excuses for me. You know, though it wasn't fair, though you had different situations and every reason to not keep account of receipts.
Right.
Still doing that. How has that helped you in your business and being a comedian and being a pastor? How has that lesson relayed back to you in life?
It's part of what you just said, man. It's part of the accountability. See, the reason why people have problems with church is because they can't see the accountability. They don't see the transparency. I have no problem opening the book because I cross the T's and dot the I's. The problem is with you shifting that you have a problem. So I'm an open book. So when you come to me and say, hey, what did you do? This is what I've done. This is where it is. So if you're accountable, people don't have no problem. If you're open and transparent, like I always inform the church as to what we're doing and what's coming in and what's going out. When they see that we're sending money out in ministry, when people hear that we're a church that not only receives, but everything that comes in, we tie back into our ministries and programs. I mean, when's the last time you heard a church say that they are tithing also, not just receiving, but the church? Everything that comes in every week since I opened ASAR Community Church, we have given back. If we get $5,000 in, we spend between $500 and $600 in local ministries, between the homeless shelter, between the domestic shelter, between the drug and alcohol center. We send something. We tithe, and that's why God has been increasing our harvest, because we do the same thing that happens for you when you give. If you give, He blesses. And I tell people all the time, you can be mad at the church all you want. If you're a member of a church, the giving blesses you and it benefits us.
Yeah.
That's what it does. It blesses you. So that's why I ain't never been mad putting my money in. I don't care what they do. I don't care if the pastor take the money and get a sunroof in the church. I'm cool with that. That's his responsibility. They ain't got nothing to do with me. My job is to put it in. Now, if they pass the plate for the plane and I don't really believe in the plane, I just take the plate and I pass it over.
Right.
But if they want to buy a bus to help kids go to summer camp every year, when the plate comes, I'll put something in there because I say, okay, I want to be a part of that. That's it. You have the right. You have the right. That's why I ain't upset. You want to buy a $63 million plane? Go right ahead. They ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm putting in what I have to put in. You can do whatever you want to do because that's your responsibility. You are accountable to God for that. My accountability to God is to give back what he's blessed me with. So what am I trying to say to you young fellas tonight? If you want to be successful, serve and give and go home. And if you're doing them two things, God gonna promise you, he'll promise you he'll expand your territory. Because you're doing the Great Commission. Serve, give, keep it moving.
That's it. Yeah, bro. All right. On that note, man, thank you for coming. You are actually making history tonight. You are our first guest. This is the first time we ever had anybody on the podcast.
Wow. Hey, Kelly, you want to know something, man? This must be historical because you are historical too.
Was it?
Because today we have just reached our 500th online giver, and it was you. You've given the 500th, because they count all that stuff. We've had 500 online giving transactions since we started ASAW. And you not only, matter of fact, you were $4.99. And then I said, oh man, it would be a blessing if my boy was 500. And then you blessed us today, and you the 500. And what you don't know is because you're the 500, you're getting a gift from ASAW. It'll be coming because you're the 500 giver. So you know what? This night is monumental.
So I just proved your point, right? You give, and I'm gonna be blessed for giving, right?
Bruh, come on, Doc. You know, hey, you sold in ASAW, boy. That ground is fertile in ASAW, man.
Yep.
We got some testimony. Hey, ain't nobody lost their job at ASAW except for the pastor.
All right, bro. Tell everybody where they can follow you. Tell them where the church is, where they can get your book, and how they can get more information about you and connect with you.
Man, look here. If you want to get in contact with me, you got to call Kelly Cole. Because you know I ain't got nothing, no Twitter, no Instagram, no TikTok, Tong. I ain't got none of that. Go to Amazon, get the book. And you want to find out where the church is, come to Villa Rica, Georgia, ask for ASAW. They'll direct you. Boom.
The book, 50 posts and a piece of toast.
50 toast. It's on Amazon, man. I got one sale this month, so I'm doing good. I'm sorry, I ain't supposed to say that, man. Man, I got so many sales, man, I can't keep up.
That's good.
No, I will say this, though. Tell them, all right, let's back up for a little bit. So you perform on cruise ships. You sell your book on the ship, too, right? You sell more in person, right?
Huh?
You sell more in person, hand-to-hand contact.
Oh yeah. Impulse, yeah. When I finish the show, when people like you, yeah, I sell quite a few on the ship, man. Yeah.
So about how many have you sold hand-to-hand combat?
I would say approximately 2,000 since I started selling them within the last. So how long has it been? 2 years?
2 years.
Yeah, I usually sell about 1,000 a year. a year.
Boom. So it's possible.
Oh man, come on. All you have to have is an audience. The book sells itself.
Yeah.
The books that people like, if they like you, they want a piece of you. And so when it's autographed, you know, and a lot of times, man, I'll be honest with you, man, a lot of times people buy my book after the show because they caught up in the emotion of the show and, I really liked them, and they don't read the book.
Right. But they buy it. You got your money.
I had a friend who bought the book, did not know her name was in the book until I did the live podcast this month. And she said, I never looked at the first page. She didn't know she was in the dedication. Yeah.
So good stuff. All right, bro, what you got, Ty?
Yeah, I'm going to just ask one question, man. What's next for you, man? What's next for you? What are you doing after this? Are you going to be doing anything else book-wise? What's up?
Well, I'm working on a second book called How Come Marriage Doesn't Work. So I'm probably
buy it already.
I'm probably about 30 pages in. I'm a real slow writer, but I'm about 30 pages in. And basically what I'm talking about is how come it doesn't work, but I'm trying to tell you what to do to make it work. Yeah. But what we're doing is how come it doesn't work. And there's just a lot of variations to that. I'm working on that. I'm still trying to build my ministry here. I don't believe in advertising. I believe in service. And so for us, it's a slower road to gain momentum because we really support stuff from behind scenes, and we don't have to have our name on it. I don't have to be in the forefront. I know that the assignment is going forward. And so I believe instead of taking that money to advertise, we're using that money for ministry. And we believe that our ministry will grow when people start to connect us with the work that we're doing. And that to me is longevity, because I could put on a nice suit and wear a nice watch, and I've been an entertainer. I know what it does to attract. I don't need to do that. I want the word to speak for itself, and I want the ministry to speak for itself, and I want people that want to become a part of that, because you can be a fast, overnight growing ministry, but there's no substance and there's no sustainability. And I don't want people in transit coming and going. I want people that really attach to us and become like family and grow with us as we grow. And so I'm just working on the ministry, man. And I just do what I have to do. Whatever my hands are assigned to do. Tonight it was assigned to do this. We do it. We love it. And then we move on to the next one. So that's what I'm working on. Whatever God has next.
Awesome. Awesome, bro.
Good stuff. All right, man. So, man, like, once again, thank you for coming on. It's a blessing. Everybody who's watching, hey, you can do a virtual comedy show, right, bro?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
You can set up the camera and do this right here, right?
Hey, look, I'd rather we talk about family issues.
All right, book my brother to talk about family issues.
Yeah, let me come in and help your marriage.
Let him come in and help your marriage. Get your marriage in order. Get your kids in line. But book my brother, Rodney. Get his book on Amazon. If you want to book me and Dr. Reid for coaching or for us to publish your book, send us an email, Books-N-Brothas@gmail.com. Make sure you follow our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and subscribe to us on YouTube. All right, bro, you got anything before we give them our ending quote?
No, man. Thank you, Rodney, man. You're definitely a man of wisdom. I got so much tonight. I'm sitting here typing in my notes. Definitely, because there's always something, man, when you come. And definitely, man, I just want to thank you, man. There's many times you just drop knowledge. And you know the call when you drop knowledge that time, bro. It really helped me. So,
yeah, hey, man, that's what hey, you're welcome, man. That's what we all for, man. Iron sharpened iron, bro. Plus, I need you guys to be successful, bro. I'm getting up there to 55, bro. I love watching y'all grind, man. It makes me remember my days of old.
Thank you.
All right. Well, on that note, you don't have to get it right.
Just got to get it going.
All right. Thank y'all. Thanks, bro. I'll holler at you later.
I have a book in me.
This is my friend, my brother.
Thank you, Kelly and Oliver.
I'm a multi-award-winning best-selling author.
If you want to start a new business, I suggest you write the book on it.
God woke me up at 2:30 in the morning and I wrote a book.
Some of you got books already. Some of you got novels already.
The lead generator is the book.
You write a book, you leave a legacy to your children.
And I hope you guys listen to these guys so they know what they're talking about.